Welcome to the Best Startup Idea Ever podcast, where startup ideas are not only unique, but also full of responsibility toward the community and the environment. In this episode, you'll discover chickpea-based blondies and brownies, healthy desserts that are still incredibly delicious. You'll hear about a smart device that reduces germs when blowing out birthday candles, small, but super practical. And most importantly, we'll explore zero-plastic hygiene products that use reusable, recyclable, or biodegradable materials, slowly transforming the way we consume. Each story is proof that modern startups aren't just about innovation, but also about building a greener future. Let's get started. Story 1. Blondie's Cookies. Imagine one day, you're standing in the cookie aisle at the supermarket, holding a package of cookies. You read the ingredients: butter, eggs, milk, gluten, peanuts, and sigh. If you're vegan, gluten intolerant, or have a child with a peanut allergy, your choices might shrink down to just one, or none at all. That's the opportunity Blondie's Cookies saw. Founded by Nancy Kalish in 2014, Blondie's Cookies isn't just a dessert company. It's a promise to people who love sweets but don't want to sacrifice their health. Instead of using traditional ingredients like white flour, eggs, or dairy, Nancy chose chickpeas as the base for her soft, flavorful cookies. The result: no gluten, no eggs, no dairy, no peanuts, no GMOs, yet full of taste. What's special here is, Nancy didn't just make a healthy product. She made one so tasty that people don't even realize they're eating cookies made from chickpeas. There are 4 flavors: deep chocolate brownies, chocolate chunk blondies, birthday cake, and peanut chocolate chip. Just the names make your mouth water, and that's the strategy. Blondies doesn't market itself as a healthy snack. They sell delicious cookies that just happen to be good for you. But the journey wasn't easy. When Nancy appeared on Shark Tank, she didn't get a deal. Why? The investors were concerned about debt and growth potential. But that didn't stop Blondies. In fact, being on TV helped her reach a whole new group of customers, people who didn't need a shark, just a good cookie. In an unexpected twist, Grupo Bimbo, one of the largest bakery companies in the world, decided to invest in Blondies. They didn't just see profit potential. More importantly, they saw a unique vision, offering healthy snacks to a smarter, more demanding generation of consumers who no longer accept a trade-off between taste and health. As a result, by August 2024, Blondie's cookies were available in over 1,900 Kroger, Whole Foods, and Walmart stores, generating over $3 million in annual revenue. From cookies baked in a tiny kitchen to a national brand filling thousands of shopping carts every week. So, what's the lesson here? First, the market is always there if you truly understand the problem. Consumers don't just want to diet, they want to enjoy food without guilt. Solve a specific pain point, like how Nancy helped people with allergies or dietary restrictions enjoy brownies again. Second, early rejection doesn't define the final outcome. No one invested in Blondies on Shark Tank, but that didn't stop a billion-dollar company from investing later. Sometimes, you don't need everyone to say yes. You just need one believer at the right time. Third, what sets you apart is how you tell your story. Nancy wasn't just selling cookies, she was offering hope to parents who want safe snacks for their kids, solutions for vegans seeking more options, and joy to anyone who's ever felt limited by their diet. Maybe you're holding a chickpea cookie idea in your hands right now, something that seems small, simple, maybe not very flashy. But if it meets a real, unmet need, then it's not just a cookie, it's a whole ecosystem waiting to grow. And who knows, like Nancy, you just might turn something humble into $1 million business, with nothing more than a small cookie and a big belief. Story 2. Blowsy. Imagine this scene: you're at a birthday party. The cake is brought out to loud applause. The child closes their eyes, makes a wish, and blows hard on the candles. Everyone laughs and claps, but in the corner of the room, someone quietly cringes. Not because of the wish, but because of the tiny drops of saliva that just landed on the frosting. Yes, you're not the only one who's thought about that. And from this seemingly small moment, a startup idea was born, Blowsy, a device that lets kids, and adults, blow out birthday candles without blowing spit all over the cake. Sounds simple, right? But that simplicity is exactly its power. Blowsy is a small device that works by separating airflow. When someone blows into the Blowsy, the device triggers an internal fan that creates an artificial breeze to blow out the candles, while the breath and bacteria stays inside. The cake stays dry, clean, and safe, and the birthday wish still comes true. A symbolic action, making a wish, is now modernized without losing its meaning. This isn't just a product to block germs, it's a beautiful blend of tradition and innovation. Blowsy doesn't take away from the birthday experience, it improves it, keeping the emotion while adding a new standard of hygiene. So why is this important in the world of startups? First, Blowsy is a perfect example of solving a small problem that many people overlook, but everyone has experienced. It's the classic lesson: you don't have to start with high-tech or billion-dollar ideas. Sometimes, all it takes is a sharp eye to notice a tiny pain point others ignore, and a smart way to fix it. Second, Blowsy proves that experience is part of a product's value. They're not just selling a gadget. They're selling a birthday experience that's clean, fun, and safe. That's why it's welcomed not just in homes, but also in schools, daycare centers, and even bakeries. Third, the story of Blowsy shows that innovation doesn't have to be complicated, it just needs to be timely. The product appeared during and after the pandemic, when people became more aware of hygiene, public health, and everyday habits. A device like Blowsy isn't just logical, it's perfectly timed. And finally, the biggest lesson: the market is always waiting for someone brave enough to question the obvious. Blowing out birthday candles is something everyone does. But because everyone does it, when a smarter, safer solution appears, people are ready to embrace it. If you're searching for a startup idea, don't think too far or too big. Pay attention to the small everyday moments, where simple actions might have room for improvement. Who knows? In one of those ordinary moments, you might find your own version of Blowsy, a small product that challenges habit, brings joy, and unlocks big opportunities from something beautifully simple. Story 3, Blueland. Every time you wash your hands, mop the floor, or spray down your kitchen counter, you're also throwing another plastic bottle into the environment. One small bottle might not seem like much, but if you multiply that by weeks, months, years, and millions of people, you can start to picture the massive amount of single-use plastic drifting in the ocean or sitting forever in landfills. The truth is, we've been trading a clean home for a polluted planet. But what if there were a way to keep your home sparkling without harming the environment? Blueland answered that question, not with words, but with action. Blueland was founded by Sarah Paigio and Syed Naqvi, a duo with sharp business minds and deep passion for the planet. They didn't start with high-tech solutions, but with a very simple question: why do we need a new plastic bottle every time we buy a cleaning product? And so, they created a clever and simple solution: concentrated refill tablets. Just add water, and you've got a full bottle of surface cleaner, hand soap, or floor cleaner. Instead of buying a new bottle each time, you reuse the same one, cutting out single-use plastic completely. Sounds simple. Yes. But the impact is far from small. By 2024, Blueland had helped eliminate over 1 billion single-use plastic packages from the global supply chain. On top of that, they reached $220 million in revenue, an unbelievable achievement for a green startup that goes against traditional consumer habits. They didn't just make a product. They changed behavior, one of the hardest things to do in business. So, what lessons can you take away if you're building your own startup? First, don't be afraid to question what seems normal. Single-use plastic bottles were once just part of everyday life, until someone asked, "Why does it have to be this way?" That one question opened up a $100 million market and a more sustainable future for the planet. Second, great products don't just solve one problem, they solve 2, 3, or more. Blueland doesn't just clean homes, it cleans up lifestyles. They sell convenience, peace of mind, and pride in living responsibly. That's value far beyond a typical cleaning product. Third, sustainable startups aren't about charity with profit, they're about profitable responsibility. Blueland didn't sacrifice growth to go green, they grew because they went green. Their success proves that ethical business models can compete and win in a tough market. And finally, remember, today's consumers aren't just buying products. They are buying values. They want to live better, easier, and more ethically. If you help them do that, you won't just earn customers, you'll build a loyal community. Blueland isn't just selling soap. They're selling a new way of life. And that's what makes them more than just clean, they're redefining what clean means. It's a vision that every young founder can learn from, turning a small dream into big, lasting change. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. If you find best idea ever stories inspiring or valuable lessons, please share them with your friends. Don't forget to follow the channel to continue exploring other bold startup journeys with me. See you in the next episode, where every idea, no matter where it comes from, can become the seed of a big dream.